This is the story of Stan Lee. Stan Lee was born on December 28, 1922 in an apartment in Manhattan, New York to his Romanian-born Jewish parents, Celia and Jack Lieber. A lot of people don't actually know this, but Stan Lee's full real name is Stanley Martin Lieber. I'm assuming that he got the Stan off of Stanley and the Lee part from Lieber. Stan had one younger brother by the name of Larry. When Stan was a teenager, they moved into an apartment in the Bronx, where Stan ended up going to DeWitt Clinton High School. Stan was 16 and a half when he graduated high school in 1939. Later that year, his uncle Robbie Solomon hooked him up with a job as an assistant at the Timely Comics division. In the 60s, Timely Comics changed its name to Marvel Comics. In 1942, Stan joined the Army, where he worked on manuals, training films, slogans, and occasionally cartooning. His military certification, he says, was playwright, and he adds that only 9 men in the U.S. Army were given that title. When Stan Lee was 24 in 1947, he met his wife, Joan Bucock. Stan met her on a blind date. Joan was married at the time, but she quickly fell in love with Stan, and after 2 weeks of dating Stan, divorced her husband and married Stan in the next room. Much later in the 60s, Stan Lee collaborated with Jack Kirby to create the heroes for the Fantastic Four. The new heroes were an instant success. This prompted the duo to make more titles. The duo went on to create Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, and the X-Men. Stan and a man named Steve Ditko created Spider-Man, who is now considered one of the most popular superheroes of all time. In 1981, Stan and his wife Joan moved to California. Stan began to develop Marvel's TV and movie properties. Stan was often an executive producer for most Marvel films, and he's made a cameo in almost every one. In the new 18 Marvel Cinematic Universe films that have been released since Iron Man in 2008, Stan Lee has made a live-action appearance in every single one. In 2010, the Stan Lee Foundation was founded. The foundation focuses on literacy, education, and the arts. In 2017, Stan's wife, Joan, died of a stroke at the age of 95. Couldn't imagine how hard it must have really been for Stan. Just recently, on November 12, 2018, Stan Lee died. It's not completely clear what the cause of death was. Stan was truly a kind-hearted man and really loved what he did in his life. My favorite Stan Lee quote is on the subject of flawed characters. Just because you have superpowers, that doesn't mean your love life would be perfect. I don't think superpowers automatically means that you won't have any personality problems, family problems, or even money problems. I just tried to write characters who are human beings who have superpowers.